Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 3 in the NFL right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy had a profitable year last year in the NFL with us, 56%. He had a profitable preseason with us, covering 41 preseason games, and he's profitable again so far in the NFL this year, thanks to his 5-1 against the spread week in Week 2. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Man, quite an introduction. What do you think about that, Joe? But you earned all of those records.
Well, that's true. I'd rather talk about how long I've been in the business, but I do know, look, from a marketing standpoint, people want to know, what have you done the past couple weeks? What have you done lately? And more importantly than that, I can tell you we already have quite a few Wise Guy plays in college football and the NFL up for this weekend, and there's more coming at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Exactly. You know, I can't come on here and say, Joe Duffy went 58.5% in the NFL in 1997. No one cares. No one gives a fuck, Joe Duffy. They want to know a little bit how you did like a few months ago. Mostly they want to know how you did this season and particularly last week. So for you, that's good news. 5-1 against spread in the NFL. You're taking 6 games with us this week again. And some of these games, you know, again, these were all games I asked you to take, so they're not necessarily your favorite games. But some of them are looking like they have some lines that might have some value here. This is another one. Houston Giants, right? The Giants are a 2-point home underdog. Totals 41.5 or 42. And last week, the Giants lost to Arizona. There were some people saying that, you know, the Giants might be a hungry home underdog. No way they're going to let themselves, you know, start the season 0-2 after last year's 0-6 start. I wasn't really buying it. I liked Arizona, and now I'm liking Houston here, -2 a little bit more, just because the Giants are looking like a lost team, and most importantly, they're just looking like a team that doesn't have a whole lot of fight. Already in Week 2, they're just looking a little bit worn out. Houston, not a perfect team, but they have a strong defense. If they're trading punches with the Giants, Houston's, you know, optimistic this year. Houston's going to be a lot more resilient than the Giants. Eventually, they're going to wear them down, I think. Houston -2. You like that, Joe?
Not necessarily. I will say this. I doubt if it's going to be a premium play. I mean, I'm still got a lot of research ahead of me, but look, the Giants, I believe, are pretty much as bad as they've looked. We know that last year, Eli Manning had an absolutely atrocious year. They changed the offensive coordinator. They struggled greatly in the preseason. Now, you can overanalyze preseason football, but the fact that you would think that the offense would have had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, that maybe they would have performed in the preseason, and now that they've been pretty much incompetent during the regular season, yes, I do think that the Giants' offense is legitimately bad. However, the reason I'm not going to fade the Giants is I think that Houston is clearly a paper tiger. Now, this is interesting in that we have one of the best margin of cover teams in the NFL. Houston's covered their games by an average of 10.6, where the Giants have the absolute worst, failing to cover by an average of 13.2. And as I said, and a lot of other people now call it the sweat barometer, we discovered this. We've been using this decades before people decided to jump on it and then rename it or whatnot. Now, that's often a good indicator of if the odds makers are ahead or behind on a team. But still, at the end of the day, we have something that we call performance gap analysis, and it's based on the premise that yards per point and turnovers can be lag indicators, and there's efficiency things that can be improved on, but yards per play, yards per rush, and yards per pass are lead indicators, and that's more demonstrative of talent. I'll be more than happy if someone wants to email me through the site to give all the parameters rather than bore you with the numbers. Essentially, what this says is that when you go with a team with a bad turnover ratio and a very bad yards per point on both offense or defense, they're a very solid play, 67 and 43 against the spread. And my database that I got that from goes back to, I think, 1978. So all in all, I still think the Giants have a little bit of an upside. Houston's got a big downside. No, I'm sorry. You know, a lot of people say you should make the lines, what the lines would be the week before, because people overreact to season to date. I think this is a perfect example of the markets overreacting. Maybe the Giants are as bad as they look, but no way Houston is as good as they've looked. They should not be a road favorite.
The strengths of the Texans, you're not buying it really. Arian Foster, great running back. Their defense is strong. J.J. Watt is like maybe, you know, clearly one of the best defensive players in the league. You don't see the Texans as having a strong running game and a very strong defense?
Yeah, they do have a good defense. J.J. Watt, apparently he's a two-way player, too.
Right.
He caught a big touchdown last week. No, Houston definitely has a very good, tremendous defense. And they do have a great running game now. An interesting stat, Foster, I guess, he has carried the ball already more times through the first 2 games than anyone since LaDainian Tomlinson, and that was, obviously a while back. Foster's taken a little bit of a beating. Now, granted, maybe that'll catch up to him a little bit later on in the year, but keep in mind that this implies that Houston is 5 points better than the Giants because they are laying 2 points on the road. Yeah, is Houston the better team? Yes, but they should not be a 2-point road favorite. 2 points is pretty significant on the road in the NFL, and the gap isn't that wide. So, Houston, they're kind of a bubble team. I still think they got weaknesses at quarterback, and yeah, they lack enough depth at the wide receiver position. They're obviously quite top-heavy there. So Houston, they're a team on the up and up, but no, I don't think they're quite a 2-0 team. I think we're going to see some regression to their mean.
Awesome analysis, Joe Duffy, liking the Giants at +2. Thanks, Joe.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.